Joining me for more discussions is lawyer Adesole Fagbemi. Good to have you join us.
Good evening.
So the current CJN Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, I just want to quote her right. She did say that her mission is to restore confidence in the judiciary by correcting wrong public perception. So far, what's your assessment?
Generally speaking, with respect to 2024, I want to say that in 2024, the judiciary had performed credibly well upon the appointments of Justice Kudirat Kekereekun by the President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What she said, particularly in her inaugural speech, was to restore back the confidence the public had in the judiciary, and that is what we are currently witnessing. My assessment of the judiciary from January to December throughout 2024 has been a positive one with respect to some landmark decision taken by the courts, most significantly in the case of local government autonomy. I want to say there is a wider celebration with respect to the intervention of the Supreme Court, looking at the autonomy, financial autonomy, so to speak, of local government council by affirming the 774 local government council and giving them financial autonomy.
Now, one of the decisive moves that you've mentioned, the issue of financial autonomy for local government, but one other one was the fact that the NJC over some, it was a decision of the NJC over some unethical practices, like conflicting judgment, and that led to the suspension of some judges in Rivers and some other states. And now that we're in 2025, do you think that that would serve as a deterrent to erring judges?
Specifically, with respect to the disciplinary measure taken by the NJC chaired by Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, I want to say that that will serve as a major deterrent, looking at their misconduct with respect to conflicting judicial division by also suspending them and the appointment of new justices. That will restore the public confidence back in the judiciary. Because basically, legitimacy is not a condition of legality, but a state of mind of the people. If the state of mind of the people are weak, there's nothing anybody could do with respect to the judicial organ of government.
And one of the biggest parts of the judiciary is justice delivery. And you know how people will always say justice delayed is always seen as justice denied. And so let's talk about delayed suits. What's the suggestion to not just the NBA, both the bar and the bench in this area?
That has been a major debacle in Nigeria justice delivery system, when we have several adjournments, and even if you look at the rules of court, some of them are anachronistic, they are obsolete, so they need amendment, so that there could be speedy dispensation of justice, and also with the use of technology in filing system. I would want to recommend that to improve justice delivery system in the 21st century. No one is being analog. We need to be forward-looking, and also the issue of staffing. Judiciary within the country is understaffed. If they could onboard new staff, I think justice dispensation or delivery system would be improved drastically amidst every other measure that should be taken with respect to legislative and policy support. So NBA and the bar and the bench should put their hand on deck for several meetings for judicial reform, proper judicial reform. And that would drastically improve justice delivery system in Nigeria.
I know we touched on the issue of perception earlier. This is one of the things that also impact on perception when after 5 years or 6 years, people have moved on. You then realize that judgment has then been given and people are wondering, or perhaps the case has been influenced. In what other areas do you think, because it's a big issue for Nigerians, you know, the issue of perception of the judiciary to be independent and not corrupt, what ways do you think that the judiciary can fix that this year, especially in terms of perception?
The issue of perception, which I said earlier, in school of thought, have made us to understand that legitimacy is not a condition of legality, but a state of mind of the people. If the state of mind of the people is currently being swayed in the direction that the judiciary is not living up to the billing, I can say that the confidence reposed by common man in court will be dampened. But, you know, I said earlier, judicial reform, active judicial reform should be embarked on with respect to profiling of cases, looking at case integrity, because, you know, law and society are conterminous. They are interrelated, and appointing new justices that would look at cases critically, not being biased, considering the fact that politics is having its way into a judicial system. It should be independent, it should be impartial and unbiased. And, you know, judicial reform and training of our justices or judges are paramount at this time.
Thank you so much for your time, Adesole Fagbemi, lawyer.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Well, let's take a break now. When the news at 10 returns, we'll bring you more